The National Science Foundation found that the average person has 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts every day. 80% of those are negative and 95% are the same as the day before. Hi, my name is Manly Konecki and I am the revolutionary mind coach and author. Welcome to our free Managing Thoughts webinar. I would firstly like to congratulate you all on deciding to take the most important webinar that you will ever be offered in your life. Now, you may be wondering, how can I make that claim so boldly? Well, you already know, you spend more time with your thoughts than you do anything else in the world. This includes your family, friends, your career, children, partner. All of these things are secondary in your life to your thinking. As we are thinking 24 hours a day, this should have been the first skill we were ever taught, as all action and experiences follow a thought. So in this webinar, we will cover how your thoughts create your world, how your thoughts create your state of health and illness within your body. We will also look at the science of thoughts, which I promise to explain in a simple and easy to understand way. We will also use a revolutionary technique called self-examination, where you will answer questions that cause you to examine your own evidence and discover your own hidden powers to create in the world. The information in this webinar has helped me to change my life, and it has also helped hundreds of my clients and my team. Now it's going to help you to create the life that you want. So without further ado, let's begin. Question: can we successfully manage our lives without first learning to manage our thoughts? Short answer, no. The reason is we think constantly, so we experience thought more than we experience anything else. Not only are we always in thought, but our thoughts also become everything that we see and experience in the world. Here is an example. The chair or sofa that you are sitting on right now. This was once just a thought or an idea. It was an image in someone's head, and now it is real. Mobile devices, cars, planes, and laptops were all once thoughts that were given due care and attention and determination until they became real objects in the world. Think about the life that you have now. Did your career begin with a thought? Did your current address begin with a thought? Did your current relationship or lack of relationship begin with a thought? Answer these questions honestly to yourself. When we answer the previous questions honestly, we can see that every major area in our lives began with us having a single thought. Our homes, careers, and relationships
all began with a single thought. As we assess this, we then stumble upon a very extraordinary discovery. This discovery is that everything in our lives begins with a single thought. You may be wondering, but if everything in my life began with a single thought, then how come I don't know about it? The reason that thoughts creating life is not immediately obvious to everyone is because of the time it takes between us having the thought and us witnessing our thought in reality. Although we may not make the connection between thought and experience straight away, we can always trace our experiences back to a thought, just as you did when answering the previous questions. For example, the fact that your career began with a single thought, whether it was a negative thought such as, "Oh no, I better do this job that I hate because I need the money," or whether it was a positive thought that said, "This is my dream job and it would be so cool if I get this job." Either way, the thought is now a reality. Whether the initial thought was wanted or unwanted, you now live in the thought, as the thought you had became your real life.
Okay, so as we saw from the information in that video, you have now discovered that all of the major areas in your life began with a single thought. And if you're honest with yourself, you can see that your current home address, your career, and your relationship, or lack of relationship, began with a single thought. So you are now living in your previous thoughts, as I am. An example of this is I am recording this webinar as a result of a thought that I had well over a year ago. It is the skill of learning how to manage thoughts that is the reason that this thought of creating the webinar is now a reality. So managing thoughts gives us the key to creating the life that we want and being able to live in the thoughts that we love the most. Now, I hope that you can all understand the magnitude of what we have just discovered and actually how profound this discovery actually is. As your thoughts become your life, it is very simple, but for this reason, it is also hard for people to fully accept. We all have thousands of thoughts throughout the day, but it is the management of the thought and the ability to control the mind that determines which thoughts become real and which ones do not. So, because it is so difficult to understand which thoughts create our reality, we will now be looking at the science behind thoughts and from the cultural and religious beliefs around the world. Let's begin.
Firstly, let's examine where scientists have told us that our mind/thoughts are creating our reality. Sir James Howard Jeans, physicist, astronomer and mathematician, member of the Fellowship of the Royal Society, says, "Mind no longer appears to be an accidental intruder into the realm of matter. We ought rather hail it as the creator and governor of the realm of matter." Dr. Bruce Lipton, scientist, biologist, author and United Nations speaker, says, "Our lives are essentially a printout of our subconscious minds." There are many more quotes from scientists all around the world explaining that our minds create our reality. But for now, let's take a quick look at some famous historical figures speaking of the mind creating reality. Plato, Athenian philosopher during the classical period in ancient Greece. Reality is created by the mind. we can change our reality by changing our mind. Buddha. All experiences are preceded by mind, having mind as their master, created by mind. Hermeticism, ancient Greek/Egyptian philosophy. All is mind. Everything we see and experience in the physical world has its origins in the mental realm. Manly P. Hall, a Freemason, Rosicrucian lecturer and author. Physical existence is the consequence of mind in action. The Holy Bible has many quotes about the mind creating reality. Throughout the scripture, we are told of mankind's free will to have dominion, which is to dominate, over everything in the world. Here are two examples of the power of thought and mind from the Holy Bible. Proverbs 23:7. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Romans 12:12. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This famous painting is from Michelangelo and his most famous artwork in the Sistine Chapel. Some examiners of his work have concluded that God is being depicted as being within the human brain. In the human brain, God sits in the frontal lobe area. This is said to be the place of imagination and thought. But wait, did Michelangelo and other Renaissance artists believe that God was the mind? Thoth, the ancient Egyptian deity, is said to be thought personified. To personify something means to depict it or draw it as a person. However, the character symbolized is not a person, but an idea portrayed as a man/woman. Thoth or thought invented writings, spells, and was said to be the scribe of the gods. You may have many questions relating to how the gods and deities of the world's religion could possibly be mind or thoughts. If you stay to the very end of this course, you will have the opportunity to get this mind coaching transformational ebook for free. It has all the world's information collated into one, and this will explain this in much more depth. For now, let's continue examining our thoughts and find out how to manage them.
Okay, so as we have discovered from assessing our own evidence, looking at the science and all the major religions and cultural beliefs in the world, thoughts have created our life. Now, knowing this information is not enough. I discovered actually over 10 years ago that my thoughts create my reality, and this did not help, as you will see from my story. I actually ended up homeless and sleeping in my car. So, how could I know that my thoughts create my reality and still create such a negative outcome? Well, once I knew that my thoughts create reality and I had a negative random thought that I could become homeless, I then began to worry about that thought becoming real. And after some time of worrying and attempting to run from the negative thought, I found that it had caught up with me and became my true reality. Question: have you ever had a negative thought become real, even though you didn't intend to make it happen? Well, for me, this thought becoming real made me hit rock bottom. And with nothing to lose and only determination to manage my thoughts, I decided to devise a foolproof way to keep my thoughts positive throughout most of the day. So I developed the 6-step mental exercise that not only changed my life, but changed the life of my clients, my friends, family, and team. And everyone who used the 6 steps that I developed has been able to achieve success. So, for more information on the success that people have achieved, watch the testimonial videos on our Facebook page, facebook.com/OneMindCoaching, and you can also find us on One Mind Coaching on Instagram and YouTube. An important question to ask once we discover that our thoughts create reality, and most people ask me this during coaching: how can a thought, which is not something we can actually touch or see, it's not a tangible thing, how can it affect and impact our physical solid world? Let's take a look.
Modern science once believed that the atom was solid matter, meaning that it was considered to be a physical object that is solid. However, physicists now know that the atom is not solid, but that groups of atoms in a cluster give us the illusion of a solid object. As everything we perceive to be solid is actually made up of atoms, nothing is really solid. We now know that there are no solid objects in the world, only objects that give us the illusion of being solid. But if everything we consider real is an illusion, then is an illusion actually real? Albert Einstein's esteemed colleague, friend and engineer Mikael Besso is quoted as stating that reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Upon the death of Mikael Besso in 1955, Albert Einstein wrote a letter of condolences to Mikael's family, in which he wrote, "For those of us who believe in physics, the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." From this statement, it is clear that Albert Einstein also believed reality to be an illusion. But what do these renowned scientists mean when they say illusion? Synonyms for the word illusion point to its intended meaning, and they include words such as daydream, delusion, dream, fancy, fantasy, figment, hallucination, non-entity, phantasm, pipe dream, unreality, and vision. All of these words refer to an experience created by the mind/imagination. Therefore, there is no difference between what we think is real and what eventually is real. There is one main reason why we never recognize our minds creating our reality, and this is due to the time lag between what we are thinking becoming real. The gap between the thought becoming real may be 2 days, 2 months, 2 years, or even 20 years. When we experience our thoughts born as real life, we forget that we first had experienced them in the mind, years, months, or days earlier. And the times when we do recognize our creation from thought, we call it a coincidence or a deja vu.
Okay, so we have discovered that our thoughts are creating our reality. A good question to ask is, do our thoughts impact upon the health and well-being of our bodies? One of the self-examination questions I like to ask my clients is, have you ever had a negative thought that caused changes to your body? An example of this may be a phobia or a fear. When we have negative thoughts, we can cause our heart rates to increase, and things such as fainting or sweating are physical results of these thoughts. So we all have our own evidence that our thoughts impact our body. But now, let's have a quick look at the science.
When we think thoughts of fear or lack, we can panic and the rate of our heartbeat increases. So just one thought can change your body. Examine yourself to see if this is true. Dr. Candice Pert, PhD, neuroscientist and pharmacologist, says, every time we think or emote, we are moving and growing cells, changing our emotions and rewiring our brain. The placebo effect is when a medical professional pretends to prescribe a drug to a patient and the patient is cured simply because they think that they have been given a drug with medicinal properties. In fact, it is merely the thought of being cured that is curing the patient. So, thoughts can heal your body. Angina is a chest pain caused by reduced blood flow to the heart. Surgeons treating angina patients tie small vessels in the chest wall to increase blood flow to the heart. In 1959, a cardiologist surgeon named Leonard Cobb had two groups of angina patients. He performed surgery on one group and there was a 90% success rate of curing the issues. With the next placebo group, who only thought that they had had surgery, there was the same 90% rate of recovery. This is proof of the power of thoughts and mind to heal the body. There have been hundreds of officially documented cases of the placebo effect, mind curing body, since the year 1799, when the first scientific demonstration of the placebo effect was documented. The physician responsible for the first documenting of the placebo effect was named Dr. John Haygarth, and he then published a book called Imagination as a Cause and as a Cure of the Body. This title of the book demonstrates that he thought the mind to be the cause and the cure of the illness. Okay, so we have established through science, history, and our own evidence that our thoughts create reality. We also know from the National Science Foundation that on average we are experiencing 85% negative thoughts every day. This highlights that although our thoughts create our reality, most of us are using negative thoughts to create a reality that we do not want. The solution is to change our thinking habits, but this is much easier said than done. To test this, pause this webinar and attempt to focus on one thought for longer than 5 minutes. You will be amazed at how difficult that actually is.
Okay, so I have developed a unique set of tools that work 100% of the time on managing thoughts. And the great news is you can pre-order these tools through an online course prior to the release and enjoy a massive discount.
The solution. I have developed an online workshop in managing thoughts, and it will give you the tools, the online support, and the help required to change your thinking and begin to make your new positive thoughts into your new reality. In this workshop, we will take an in-depth look at the 6 simple steps we need to take every single day to help managing our thoughts. You will be given tools to help you manage your thoughts during crisis. We will explore the 3 different types of thoughts that we experience through scientific perspective and your own evidence. You will also discover the science of how you're transmitting and receiving thoughts. This will cover how our thoughts affect others and how we can use our thoughts to positively influence the behavior of others. You will also learn the management of random and uncontrolled thoughts. And last but not least,
this solution to managing your thoughts and transforming your life pre-order discounted offer includes a revolutionary mind coaching call with me, usually worth £249. During this call, you will discover a hidden power within yourself and have the course tailored to meet your individual needs. Not only that, you will also get 6 months online support with me via email and via our private Facebook group. This is usually worth £997. You will also get the online course itself filled with the revolutionary unique tools proven to help people time and time again. This alone is usually worth £997. Plus, the course is tailored to meet your individual needs. The worth of this is priceless. So, included in this offer, you will get all of these tools and support worth over £2,400, but for a limited time only, you can access all of this help and support for just £297. This pre-order offer is limited to only 40 people, so book now before all of the spaces fill up. For a limited time only, you can access our online course by pre-ordering today. The benefits of pre-ordering the course prior to its release is you only pay a fraction of the launch price. Instead of the launch price of the Managing Thoughts online course of £997, for today it is only £297. Join us on Facebook. For ongoing support, you will be added to our private Facebook group that is dedicated to managing thoughts. In this group, you will meet other course graduates in order to support each other and have like-minded discussions. I will also be going live in this group once a week and answering all of your managing thoughts questions.
One Mind coaching has been hugely beneficial to me across different parts of my life, whether that be during a period of bereavement, pre-exam nerves, or setting a new business up. I feel hugely empowered, in control, and able to move forward after each One Mind coaching session.
I was stuck on one issue for a long time. I just didn't see a way out of it. This problem was taking a lot of my energy, my headspace. Few coaching sessions with Manly using One Mind coaching method transformed my entire thinking. It was like, wow, the entire perception of things has changed. The problem was no longer there. It just got dissolved. I have learned some tools to use going forward to help me create a better life for myself.
our first coach, session was about what I want to do, what I dream about in my future. So, but actually, regarding to my previous experience and also your word, you gave me this actually self-confidence to improve and let's say to boost my knowledge, my energy to do whatever I had dreamed about. So now I can say I have a good news for you because like last week I launched my own startup and which is about helping people, helping Middle Eastern students in order
Wow.
to in order to get access to study abroad. So because nowadays um, because of sanctions, restrictions, lots of
Yeah.
ban for Middle Eastern especially students, young students, so they don't know how to manage this process. So
Yeah.
I have this experience because for a long time I'm far from my country. I was in Europe, here in England, other countries, and I have this experience. So I said,
Yeah.
why not sharing this experience and help people, help really, I want to say innocent people to,
Yeah.
to start a new life abroad, to get this, to get access to this, high quality universities compared to their countries. So yeah, now I'm so happy thanks to you because of all of I really appreciate your words all the time at work.
Can I
Yeah,
just say I really appreciate you sharing that story as well, because it's so heartwarming to think that so many people are on the path to just getting money, whereas what
yeah,
you said, we discussed your actual purpose, what you feel like you're here to do,
exactly.
what your life is for. And yeah, we had a deep discussion about that, and just to hear that you've come up with this fantastic idea of how you can actually be of value and of service to others and bring something positive in the world, man. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, wow. uh,
Thank you.
and how have you found your introduction to the One Philosophy? Me and you have had a few coaching sessions already. How are you finding it so far, and what's been your experience?
So for me, what was amazing, and it's still amazing. Yeah, we can relate it to the fact with the coronavirus thing. Yeah, let's say everyone is depressed or sad because of this stuff going on. But since I met you, we start talking about the same philosophy, like one
Yeah,
mind philosophy, and how to perceive reality in a way which is good for yourself and good for
yeah.
persons you have around you, and for your mindset as well, so you can uh, create the life you want in your future or in your present or
That's it. Yeah, love it. That is exactly one of the slogans as well. Create
yeah.
the life you want. Managing thoughts, changing your life comes from having full control over what you're thinking and feeling uh, throughout most of the day. I'm not going to say 100%, but throughout most of the day.
Yeah,
And if you can get to the point where throughout most of the day, you know how you're feeling, you're conscious of how you're feeling, you know what you're thinking, and you're conscious of how you're thinking, your life will change around you. And that's what happened for me.
yeah, this is what's happening now with me, and so
Yeah.
fast I can't believe it. Yeah, because before
Yeah.
you give me the book, yeah, and you said to write how I want to be, yeah, what I want to manifest, yeah. And I write all those affirmations, and I start reading them. And when I see in my mind I change, yeah. Let's say I go in the park and I start thinking, oh, maybe this month I'll have less money or something like that. Random thoughts, yeah. I just noticed, oh, I changed my mindset now. This is not good. I don't want that result. And I start reading the affirmation again. So each time I'm going random, I focus on those affirmations. And honestly, in 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, everything changed. Now, in 2 hours, I have to change the house, a much better one. You see, everything starts working really fast.
It's magnificent. And like you say, it happened so quick. I noticed you mentioned to me just before we started the call that you were moving, and I thought, oh, I didn't know you was moving house. But what happens is the moment we change our inner conception of ourselves, everything around us starts to change as a result.
Okay, so you've just heard some of the information from our happy clients and some testimonials also from my team members who work within One Mind Coaching. Now, the main thing to take away from this webinar is that your thoughts do create your reality. And so I hope that you've enjoyed it and you found the information valuable. If you are going to purchase the online course, you will be able to create the life you want. Okay, so just remember, the main thing to take away is thoughts become things, and if you want to control your life, you need to manage your thoughts. I am Manly Konecki, signing out, wishing you all peace and prosperity. How to get the one transformational mind coaching book for free. This book answers all of the questions that have plagued humanity since the beginning of time, including: why am I here? Is there a God? Why can't I get what I want in life? Why do I feel bad? How can I change my life and relationships? And how and why can we live in a world filled with such injustices? This book has collated all of the world's information into one. It is filled with extraordinary discoveries and power-ups. These power-ups are mental exercises that you can practice and develop your own mental abilities to create in the world. The usual price of this book after the launch will be $19.99, but you can get it for free if you download on the exact day of the launch. To get notified about the exact launch day and receive free excerpts from the book prior to the release, join our Facebook group, One Book for Free, or send a WhatsApp message stating free book to +44 75 33 971 279 to be added to the WhatsApp group. I hope that you found this webinar helpful, and that if you take one thing away from this, it is that your thoughts create, making you powerful beyond any of the seeming problems in your life. Remember, as Oprah Winfrey stated, change your thoughts, change your circumstances. I'm signing out and wishing you all peace and prosperity.